Heya Cryptozens. Tonight's show, the United States of Sam Bankman-Fried, Crypto Job Watch. It's 10 p.m. Pacific time. The date is June 2nd, 2022. Welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nicodemus, and I'll be your host. The cover model, mascot, and co-host for this podcast is Tex, and together we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. So take a minute, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast now, because we're here at 10 p.m. each and every night so that when you leave in the morning, you're taking with you the crypto news analysis that you need to start your day. Keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. If you bring up the idea of a bailout in crypto Twitter, you'll find out you're going to get some dirty looks because a lot of people in crypto don't like bailouts. We remember the 2008 banking crisis. A lot of people got bailed out that some people think should have been put in jail. There are some who will say, but that's okay. Sam is putting Sam's money where Sam wants it. He's certainly not hurting anyone. What's the problem? Then the other side of the argument. Sam is prolonging the agony. In fact, he's making it worse by interfering with the natural order of things. Projects that should fail won't. This endangers other projects because they're all competing for the same capital, so good projects will fail. This is a danger just like underbrush in a forest can be a danger. Without the good forest fire to come through and clear out all the trash every once in a while, everybody comes at risk. So I'm not here to tell you what to think about Sam Bankman-Fried. I'm not here to tell you that his efforts are benevolent, misguided, or selfish. But instead, let's talk about what he's done, and then you decide whether he's a hero or a villain. Now, Sam is clearly not the only player in this scene, because this stretches back a ways. One name to add to the list of dramatis personae is Do Kwon, right? The most recent chapters of this story go back to the collapse of the Terra Luna ecosystem. Terra Luna fell, took other projects like the Mirror Protocol out. Anchor got taken out. And then when Anchor got nuked, they took a lot of other people with them. Now, so far, Celsius is limping along. Now, who knows for how long? I mean, even if somehow, through a major miracle, they were able to pull through and don't get liquidated, their reputation is shot. Nobody's going to trust them with their money again. I'm not saying I agree, but I do understand their actions. They cut off the transfers and withdrawals to preserve their capital. In doing so, might have saved the company. And that very well might be the right way to go. But notice, Sam Bankman-Fried isn't cutting them a check. Alameda Research isn't bailing them out. I'm sure SBF has his reasons, but I'm sure it's because he sees what I do. Celsius's reputation is in the toilet, and a bailout probably won't save them or their rep. Now, some are saying, however, that a bailout might be for the best because it might keep other problems from cropping up. Here's what I mean. Voyager Digital, they've got an issue. Actually, they've got 661 million issues. I say that because that's how much Three Arrows Capital owes them. And they said they might issue a notice of default to 3AC. Yeah, Voyager put out a news release today indicating they might issue a notice of default to 3AC if they fail to meet their loan obligations. And these are large obligations. Voyager Digital announced that they had exposure to 3AC in the form of 15,025 Bitcoin and $350 million in USDC. Now, I think really Voyager's being kind of lenient here. I mean, being really flexible, because in spite of everything that we know is going on, they're not even asking for a huge payment up front, relatively speaking. They want $25 million as kind of a deposit on the rest. And they want that deposit repaid by the 24th of June, 2 days from now. 3AC can pay that off in USDC. And then they want the rest repaid in Bitcoin and USDC by the 27th of June. That's not a lot of time. In Voyager's statement, they said, quote, "Neither of these amounts has been repaid, and failure by 3AC to repay either requested amount by these specified dates will constitute an event of default." Voyager Digital said, quote, It intends to pursue recovery from 3AC and is talking to their lawyers to see what legal remedy is available. And they know, as the rest of us do, it might not work out for them. They said they were, quote, unable to assess at this point the amount it will be able to recover from 3AC. Which, yuck, that's a really bad place to be. You see, 3AC getting liquidated, that spread the contagion. That's what people are calling it. All the bad paper, all the obfuscated rehypothecation. This is all potentially dangerous for DeFi and crypto. 3AC fallout endangers a number of companies. Companies like Genesis Trading. Companies like BlockFi. Now, we talked about them when 3AC first got liquidated. BlockFi didn't say directly that they were liquidating anybody, but they hinted at it when CEO Zach Prince tweeted out last Thursday. He said, quote, large client failed to meet its obligations on an over-collateralized margin loan. We fully accelerated the loan and fully liquidated or hedged all the associated collateral. And he added that no client funds are impacted. At the time of writing, the global crypto market cap is $901.54 billion. It's down 0.97% in 24. The top 5 cryptos by market cap are Bitcoin down 0.92%, Ethereum down 2.82%, Tether, USDC, and Binance Coin up 0.58%. Now, Genesis Trading, much the same. Michael Morrow is their CEO, and he tweeted, quote, Genesis can confirm that we carefully and thoughtfully mitigated our losses with a large counterparty who failed to meet a margin call to us earlier this week. No client funds are impacted. We sold and or hedged all of the liquid collateral on hand to minimize any downside. Now listen to what they say here. They liquidated a large client who failed to meet a margin call, but they want everybody to know they've completely withdrawn from them, cut off. And so it was on Friday that BitMEX also got in on it because they liquidated 3AC's position. So did Deribit, so did FTX. And as always, they all want everybody to know that user funds are safe, but more importantly, they want everybody to know that they're just fine. Nobody needs to margin call them because it's all kind of a bluffing game sometimes, especially when times are tough like they are now. As they say, when the tide goes out, you get to see who's going swimming naked. Now, whether they're fine or not is a real question, though. Sam's not waiting to find out. His Alameda research is jumping in to prevent further contagion and loss of confidence in the middle of the bear market. Look at what happened to Nexo. Nexo said that they have no exposure to Three Arrows. They said they have 100% liquidity to meet any debt obligations. Even so, Nexo security token fell 25% to 61 cents apiece. That's pretty much for just being in the same business as 3AC, that of being a crypto lender with high yields. In speaking with NPR, Sam said that the weight of having resources, of having access to things like Alameda and FTX, that means something. That comes with obligations in his view, kind of like with great power comes great responsibility. He said they, quote, have a responsibility to seriously consider stepping in, even if it is at a loss to ourselves, to stem contagion, even if we weren't the one who caused it or who weren't involved in it. I think that's what's healthy for the ecosystem, and I want to do what I can to help it grow and thrive. Now, this is not virgin territory for Sam. They've been down this road before. Japanese crypto exchange Liquid. FTX gave them $120 million in financing last year. And Sam was speaking about this when he said, quote, we, I think about 24 hours later, stepped in and gave them a pretty good line of credit to be able to cover all of their demands to make sure customers were made whole while thinking about the longer-term solution. And that seems to be what they're doing here. Saturday, Voyager Digital announced Alameda Research has agreed to a couple of things. First, a $200 million loan denominated in USDC. The other is a revolving line of credit of 15,000 Bitcoin. Now note, that's not quite enough to cover what Voyager stands to lose on 3AC, but it's reasonably close, which means if 3AC pays back all or most of their obligation to Voyager, then Voyager should have no issue paying back Alameda. this could be a big part of things here, because this loan, it has a due date. December 31st, 2024 is when the credit facilities come due, and that's with a 5% interest payment on top. The global NFT market cap is up over $12.24 billion. It was at $12.26 billion last night. I think that's the first time that I've seen the NFT market cap retrace like that. Sales volume is down 2.26% in 24 hours. According to CoinMarketCap, the top 5 NFT collections by sales volume are Doodles, followed by Bored Apes, CryptoPunks, Azuki, and Lonely Pop. Now, keep in mind, some of these collections have very volatile prices, so do your own research. Now, SBF helped out BlockFi too. We know BlockFi did liquidate 3AC's position. What I'm not sure of is how much they actually got. Did they get enough to meet their obligations? I'm not so sure about that. I say that because BlockFi took out a $250 million revolving loan as well. Prince was speaking with Bloomberg when he said this was a partnership that was, quote, equal parts an offensive and defensive maneuver. And he wants everybody to know everything is fine. He continued saying, quote, we felt it was a smart, offensive, and strategic decision for BlockFi to bolster the balance sheet with a big number and tell everybody about it. So, whose interest is it that Sam is looking out for here? BlockFi? FTX? The greater good of crypto? People are divided because these kinds of things might seem to be odd with rumors. There are rumors that SBF and Alameda damaged Celsius intentionally. The claim is that Alameda sold off about 50,000 staked Ethereum. Now, we've talked about how staked Ethereum is used by some groups as collateral. And at the time, I said staked Ethereum is supposed to be kind of like a stablecoin for ETH. It's not the same thing as ETH, but it's intended to be traded at a 1-to-1 ratio. So, the claim is that 50,000 staked ETH sale was an attempt to depeg staked ETH, which we know did happen. Staked ETH did get depegged. And we know a lot of the companies that are starting to have issues held a lot of staked Ethereum as collateral for loans. And now that the value of staked ETH is off compared to the OG version, then that calls the status a lot of loans into question. And that road tends to lead to liquidation. Sam addressed this in a tweet saying, quote, this is definitely false. We want to help those we can in the ecosystem and have no interest in hurting them. That just hurts us and the whole ecosystem. So the ultimate question is, who is he helping here? Firms he's acquired, like Liquid, were doomed to failure. They would have gone under without his aid. So was this for the greater good, as he said? He's described himself as a, quote, effective altruist, a capitalist that gives back as much as he earns. So the question becomes, is Sam's intent to intervene to help companies out now, or is his intent to expand his empire? Or is it to build and ensure a better crypto tomorrow for us all? You tell me what you think, because it might be all of the above. So I'm going to continue on with my new segment tonight. It's called Crypto Job Watch. And as always, I don't know these companies. I don't work for anyone. I don't know anybody who works for any of them. So I'm not endorsing a job. I'm not endorsing a company. I just want to offer a little bit of help to someone who might need it. So this company is Atoy. They have a remote position open for a blockchain developer. While Atoy didn't supply a potential salary, estimates are between $86,000 and $110,000 per year. They're looking for a blockchain developer with experience in NFT platforms. From their ad, they said they, quote, ideal candidate will be prepared to recommend NFT platforms to fork as a foundation to create our own and work with our development team to see projects through from technical strategy to the entire software development lifecycle. Now, for that, they would prefer a candidate that has a bachelor's degree. They'd prefer someone with crypto, fintech, or related field experience, and they would like someone that knows multiple blockchain protocols. They're saying they're open to remote work for someone if they're able to readily get into their LA corporate office. If this sounds like you, go to Indeed.com, look up a toy, OTOY, and apply. And that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed tonight's show, like, comment, and subscribe. Give us a glowing review, because that helps other people find their way to this podcast. Do you have questions or comments? Reach out and let us know. The email address is nick@cryptoovernighter.com. That's nick@cryptoovernighter.com. Or come find us on YouTube. Leave me a comment and maybe I'll read it into the next episode. Now you stay safe out there. Watch out for yourselves, but watch out for each other too. We'll see you tomorrow night.